Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the rolling hills of the countryside, there lived a young man named Emma. Emma was a hard-working and ambitious individual who had always dreamed of making a name for himself in the world. He spent every waking moment thinking about how to improve his life and increase his wealth. He would often work late into the night, poring over books and papers, trying to come up with the next big idea that would catapult him to success. One day, while out on a walk, Emma stumbled upon a mysterious old man sitting by a river. The old man had a long white beard and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through Emma. He introduced himself as Marcus, a wise and knowledgeable sage who had lived for many years. Marcus had seen many people like Emma consumed by their ambition and drive, and he knew that Emma was headed down a path that would only lead to emptiness and regret. Marcus noticed Emma's eagerness and ambition and decided to share a story with him. "Emma, my young friend," he began, "I once knew a man named Alex who was very much like you. He was driven, determined, and always striving for more. He would stop at nothing to achieve his goals, even if it meant sacrificing his relationships and his own happiness." Marcus paused, taking a deep breath before continuing. "One day, Alex stumbled upon a magical golden egg that had the power to grant any wish. Excited by his discovery, he wished for wealth and success beyond his wildest dreams. At first, everything seemed perfect. Alex's business flourished, and he became one of the richest men in the land. He lived in a grand mansion, drove expensive cars, and traveled the world in style. But as Marcus continued, his tone turned somber. But as time went on, Alex realized that his wealth and success had come at a great cost. He had lost touch with his friends and family, and his relationships were shallow and meaningless. He was lonely and unhappy despite having everything he had ever wanted. He had no one to share his success with, no one to laugh with, no one to cry with. He was completely alone, surrounded by his wealth and material possessions. Emma listened intently, intrigued by the story. He couldn't help but see parallels between Alex's story and his own life. He was lonely and unhappy, so focused on his goals, having everything he had ever wanted. His relationships, he had no one to share his own happiness with, Marcus, no one to laugh with, taking no one deep to Emma listened intently, intrigued by the story, surrounded by his wealth and but see material possessions between Alex's story to grant his own life wish. He too had been so focused discovery, and his Marcus wished he had neglected success as relationships that drew his own happiness. At first, everything seemed not from wealth and his material possessions, but from he became one of the richest men in, and the land he lived in a grand mansion. Things drove expensive cars, like a beautiful sunset. And traveled the world to cultivate meaningful connections with others. Is to listen to their stories, but as to share in their joys on Alex realized that his wealth and he found that his happiness looked at Emma, fulfillment grew with his friend. He became a family. It is the relationships we build wealth or not, love we share, ultimate goals in life, the positive difference we make in the world. Don't forget to truly appreciate the small things and cultivate meaningful connections with others, for it is these things that will bring you true happiness and fulfillment. Emma thanked Marcus for his wisdom and returned to his village. With a newfound perspective, he began to focus on building stronger relationships with his friends and family, volunteering in his community, and he started taking time off from work to go on walks, to read books, to enjoy a cup of coffee in the morning, and as he did, he found that his happiness and fulfillment grew, and years went by. He became a more content and well-rounded member of his community. He was known for his kindness, his generosity, and his wisdom. People would come to him for advice, and he would share his story, telling them about the importance of relationships and the simple things in life, and as they listened, they too began to see the world in a different light, and they too began to cultivate the meaningful connections with others. That true happiness and fulfillment come not from wealth and material possessions, but from the relationships we build. It is essential to appreciate we have all the world around us and cultivate meaningful connections with others, for it is these things that will bring us true happiness and fulfillment. In the heart of West Africa, where the sun dips into the Atlantic Ocean, there lies a land of gold, rich culture, and resilient people. This is Ghana, a nation with a story that spans thousands of years. In the ancient days, powerful kingdoms rose and flourished, like the Ghana Empire, which shone bright like a star in the 9th century. These kingdoms were built on the backs of skilled farmers, architects, and traders who exchanged gold, ivory, and stories with neighboring nations. But then, like a stormy weather, European powers arrived. The Portuguese, British, and Dutch came, and the British eventually colonized, renaming it the Gold Coast. For centuries, the people of Ghana fought against the shackles of colonialism, led by brave men and women like Kwame Nkrumah, who dared to dream of independence. And on March 6, 1957, that dream became a reality. Ghana was free at last. Since then, Ghana has walked the path of democracy with ups and downs, like a river flowing through the landscape. Today, it's a nation proud of its diverse culture, vibrant cities, and stunning natural beauty. Ghanaians celebrate their heritage with colorful festivals like the Akwasiday, where the Ashanti people honor their ancestors with music, dance, and traditional clothing. And in the bustling markets, you can hear the sounds of laughter, haggling, and the clinking of gold. Ghana's story is one of hope and resilience, of a people who refuse to be defeated. Ghana continues to grow, to learn, and to shine, a beacon of light in the heart of Africa.
Once upon a time, in a small village, nestled in the rolling hills of the countryside, there lived a young boy named Jack. Jack was a curious and adventurous boy, always eager to explore the world around him. One day, while wandering through the village, Jack stumbled upon a mysterious old man sitting by the river. The old man was dressed in tattered robes, and his long white beard flowed like the river itself. The old man beckoned Jack to come closer, and Jack felt an inexplicable pull to approach him. "Ah, young one," the old man said in a low, raspy voice. "I have been waiting for you. My name is Riverkeeper, and I have been guarding the secrets of this river for centuries. I sense that you have a curious heart and a thirst for adventure. Come, let me share a tale with you." Riverkeeper began to tell a story of a magical river that flowed through the village. bringing life and nourishment to all who lived alongside it. But as the villagers began to take the river for granted, it began to dry up, and the land became barren and desolate. The villagers were forced to leave their homes in search of a new source of water. Jack listened intently, and as the story unfolded, he felt a sense of connection to the river and the villagers. Riverkeeper continued. The moral of the story, Jack, is that we must always respect and appreciate the gifts that nature provides us. We must not take anything for granted. For everything has a purpose and a limit. Remember, every action has a consequence, and it is up to us to ensure that our actions bring life and nourishment to ourselves and those around us. As Jack listened, he felt a surge of determination and responsibility. He realized that he had been taking the river and the village for granted. Just like the villagers in the story, he vowed to make a change, to respect and appreciate the natural world around him. Riverkeeper smiled, his eyes twinkling with approval. "Ah, Jack, you have a good heart. Remember, the river is not just a source of water. It is a symbol of life and connection. Take care of it, and it will take care of you." From that day on, Jack made it his mission to protect and preserve the river and the village. He organized cleanup efforts, helped to build sustainable irrigation systems, and educated his fellow villagers about the importance of conservation. As the villagers began to work together to protect their environment, the river began to flourish once again. The land became fertile and green, and the villagers were able to return to their homes. Jack's determination and leadership had brought life and nourishment back to the village, and he had learned a valuable lesson about the importance of respecting and appreciating the natural world. The moral of the story is that our actions have consequences, and it is up to us to ensure that our actions bring life and nourishment to ourselves and those around us. We must respect and appreciate the gifts that nature provides us, and take care of the world around us, for it is our responsibility to protect and preserve it for future generations.